Wow! Westworld's getting pretty intense, guys. What's going on? Welcome to another Westworld review, recap, whatever you want to call it. It's Westworld Season 3, Episode 6, Decoherence. Whoa. Yeah, every single episode just keeps building and building and building upon the other one, and this episode in particular really took us to some lengths. Had my jaw drop a couple times, had me get some goosebumps, and made me kind of sit there going, damn, there's only 2 more for the rest of the season. What am I to do? So guys, if you guys are new here, make sure you're going to hit that like and subscribe button. If you guys love Westworld, I love discussing this on a weekly basis with all of you guys. And also make sure to comment down below and let me know your guys' thoughts. Are you guys excited? Did you guys love this Westworld episode? Did you not? Let's discuss it. And also let me know your theories for what's coming down the path. Obviously, I haven't seen the preview. I don't like watching the previews, but I still want to hear your theories and let me know what you guys think is going to be going on, because this episode dropped the mic on a couple different scenarios, and we got 2 more episodes till the season's over, and the finale is coming soon. So overall, the easiest way to kind of discuss this show is speak on each and every character and where they're at and who's with them, what happened in there, the main things that kind of went on. That's kind of how the easiest way to discuss this show, because there's so much that happens in each and every Westworld episode that this is the best way. So first off, let's just come out and say it. Dolores and Caleb were not in this episode. I wasn't expecting them to be. This was pretty much an episode that really focused on the Man in Black and, of course, Tessa Thompson's character Charlotte, who is also Dolores as well. Also got a little bit of Maeve in there too. Now, of course, without having Caleb and Dolores, let's just jump right into Charlotte Hale, because she had one of the biggest arcs throughout this whole entire episode. And knowing that this is now Dolores inside of her, but seeing that it's the more emotional and caring side of her caring for this family that Charlotte Hale really had, that is the most intriguing part of what is making this character who she is. And obviously by the end of this episode, that's now completely changed. First off, Tessa Thompson's phenomenal in this show. She is so good. And I've always loved her as an actress, but this is the show that's really been able to give her that gravitas to show how great of an actress she is. And just throughout this whole episode, obviously, we see her opening up, talks to the family, takes her kid there, seeing kind of the events that are happening after last week's episode, and the whole world just going into chaos. And obviously, she's walking into work. Boom! Board member gets shot, assassinated. Serac, you can tell he has his hands in everything. He's becoming a very formidable foe and really an antagonist that I'm loving to death. I love Serac, and really last week's episode really delved and made him a more intriguing villain than maybe other people would have assumed if we didn't get last week's episode. But just diving in there, he gets complete control of Delos. But he does know there's a mole somewhere in here, and he has a feeling that one of them is Dolores. Obviously, in this whole capability, he's trying to figure out she's copying all the data because he wants it all destroyed. She kills the guard, calls her family, says, hey, I'm going to be there soon. But bam, that's where she got screwed. He calls a board meeting, calls her out, says, I know you're Dolores. And she pulls the ultimate move and kills everyone in that room, pulls the gun to try and shoot him. And for a second, I'm sitting there, I'm like, wait, is he a host? Everyone else just died in the room. No, it's just another AI hologram, which this hologram thing, I like how every little bit of this is like tying in, like something from the very first episode's tying into this. And it's always been a Westworld thing to be able to do that. And it's very intriguing to see how they do that. Of course, she just escapes, pulls her Terminator moves out. Again, a fantastic action set piece all in this entirety. She is such a badass going through each of the halls. Boom, boom, boom. Loved it to death. She gets cornered, calls that robot. Robot smashes the guy in, gets another nice couple moves in there, and she gets away, as we so think. She gets to the family, they get in the car, she's going to want to protect them, and I think in her mind, this is kind of her way of saying, I'm splitting from Dolores, I'm keeping this family safe. That's what
Boom!
Done. Dead. Father, son, dead. She crawls out, burned and scalped, and just that last shot in the episode of her just staring off, just seeing how the anger, the anguish in her, and the pain in her makes it to be one of the most intriguing things, because that is now, she has nothing. She has no emotionality, no, subtle or sensitivities to her. She is straight up going to be a killing machine as Noel. And in a sense, that is the last thing Serac could have done. Now he has 2 killer Terminator kind of Doloreses after him. Last thing you should have done. Plus, you have the Yakuza version of her. Who knows where that version is? That's just crazy. Really dropped the ball. And when the car blew up, I went, oh, fuck. I mean, I know this is Westworld and it's always very unexpected, but that was, I mean, maybe other people saw it coming. I did not. My jaw went, oh, fuck. I thought she got away. That was a great moment in that whole entirety, and again, proves why Sirach really has, like, all the tables in there. And even pointing in there, we're gonna get into Maeve now, because Maeve obviously opens up, has the different ratio. I knew she was gonna be back in that world. Kind of parallels to, like, a loading screen for, like, a video game, or even like the battle royales when they're like all sitting around just kind of doing their thing. Get a cool action sequence with Maeve killing some Nazis. I'm loving that. I love Thandie Newton as Maeve, but there comes one particular thing that really came to me. Of course, she gets a little bit more dialogue with Lee, but then we see Sirach is actually building a little bit of an army with these hosts. Obviously, he starts building Hector back. He's building her back, but I don't know if I was wrong. Did he build 2 other people? I could be completely wrong, but it looks like it was her and Hector mostly. I don't know if he was actually building 2 other people. I think he was, so that could actually tie into this. Who is he bringing into this world? Maybe not. But you could see that he was trying to get Maeve an upper hand, get some more on her side. But this is where it comes to, and it also ties into Charlotte Hale's whole thing. Charlotte Hale goes in there, which I don't... Realistically, you think Dolores would have killed Maeve knowing that she is the big issue in this whole entirety. But no, she goes for Hector, crushes Hector, and that's it for his character. I mean, there's no coming back from there. Once that orb is done, once the pearl is destroyed, that's it. Hector is gonzo, and we got no more Hector. That destroys Maeve, which again, Thandie Newton just showcases how great of an actress she is. She should be in so much more. Really falls to the floor. Goes to really, like, go after this other Dolores that they captured in there. Obviously, she pulls it out, destroys it. No, not destroys it, but leaves, and obviously leaves Maeve in that anguish thing. We see that by next episode, she will be at least built back and heading after Dolores, because now she has more than just this. And their ideology is kind of discussing with one another was one of the most fascinating things, because Maeve is really talking to Dolores, and Dolores is like, well, you're teaming up with the guy who's trying to destroy us. And it's very interesting, like that intrigue between them, and that's always been the center of what's made Westworld so intriguing, is that ideology and that battle for ideology and kind of the thought process of AI and artificial intelligence. And like being in college, I'm actually writing a paper on artificial intelligence right now, which makes like Westworld even more intriguing now in the way that I can kind of infuse this into that paper. It's quite impressive, and I'm liking that whole dynamic right there. And again, that one discussion, again, nice callback to the Bernard talks with her, but really having Maeve in that central protagonist role was fantastic. But truly, let's get to my favorite part of this whole entire episode. While I love the Tessa Thompson stuff, and that kind of rivals to be maybe my favorite stuff, I love when we get Ed Harris. And I think this season so far, just in the couple of scenes that we've seen him in, and in general, he's only been in 2 episodes, he has done such a phenomenal job as William, or the Man in Black, and showing that how he's in therapy and everything. I think there's a couple intriguing moments in here that really hit me, and the first one off the bat is when he's talking to his therapist, and in general, she starts getting the text messages, and that's the pretty much the same time period of what happens when Dolores dropped the bomb last episode. And she gets the thing, starts crying, sees that her family is leaving her, she's losing her medical license, all this sorts of stuff, just everything is falling apart. And Ed Harris leaves. Pretty much, they're taking him to a different room, and he looks through that window and sees her walking off and hangs herself. And that moment in particular, like, it was just shocking, and that moment gave me goosebumps. Like, just the suicide thought of that, and how many more people are probably doing this in this world, is really sad, and it's really convoluted and thought-provoking, and really hit me in a certain spot that I was just like, I don't sit well with this. And as well as, like, for me, who do you cheer for at this point? Who is the hero? Who is the villain? I mean, really at this point, Bernard is the big hero of all this. Maeve is the big hero of all this, but she's working for Sirach, and Sirach, in the end of the day, also wants to do bad things. So this is what makes to be one of the most intriguing parts of this show, is that everyone is out for their own bidding. And as of right now, Bernard is the only character that I feel willing enough to cheer for and feel comfortable cheering for, because, and that's not a con against it all. That's a very pro, because I can kind of cheer for Caleb. I can kind of cheer as well for Dolores, but at the same time, after dropping that bomb, it really opened up a world, and it's just, Yeah, it's an intriguing thought, but it really just that the couple moments of suicide really hit me, especially last week again with the little girl when the mother sees that she like slits her wrist and she grabs. That was a very subtle moment that again grabbed me and really just pulled me in. But obviously tying in as well, we get to see that Man in Black William also gets the same thing that Caleb has, which is also going to tie in. I think we're going to get a good fight scene between Caleb and the Man in Black. I think next, again, everything's kind of building up to put our characters in main roles of where they are going to go. And that in particular, when he gets that entrained, works because it's also the PTSD thing. It's nice that they set that up very subtly in Caleb's episode when they're abusing it. Even tying into this, though, the main part is when we can see Jimmy Simpson and all the different versions of William come into play. This was, again, one of the reasons that I think Westworld this season has really showcased why each and every one of these actors are phenomenal, and Ed Harris gets the chance in this. He's so freaking good in the role in this whole moment, and I knew he was going to end up killing them all, but the thought-provoking conversation he's having between all of them, and really the character arc you can see and the change that has happened to this man is honestly really interesting, and I loved what they were able to do in that whole entire moment. It made it very effective, very strong, and I loved it. But of course, the final moment in this whole entire episode with his character is the glasses coming off and Bernard and of course Stubbs being there to save him, and really in a sense sitting there going, they must have just totally forgotten him after all the chaos. So it's like, what other chaos has been happening in this world inside this facility as well? Is there more than just that therapist who had killed herself? Are there others? Are there people who just abandoned and went home to their families and just left him in that machine or that simulator? It is very intriguing. It sets up a great 2 episodes. And this is what I love. Setup episodes can be good or bad. This is an excellent setup episode because it furthered the story while at the same time building upon what's going to make this finale feel so satisfying. And I'm ready to say it. This is the best Westworld season yet. This is one of the best Westworld episodes yet, and I absolutely loved this episode of Westworld. So make sure, guys, if you guys are new here, make sure to comment down below. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this episode. What are your theories? What are your not? What do you think is going to happen? Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button as well so you never miss out on Westworld content on a weekly basis. And thank you guys again so much for watching this. I love being able to discuss with you guys every single week and really go through the comments and see your guys' thoughts. So thank you guys again so much for watching this, and of course, until next week, stay classy.